My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Richard Nixon.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Ronald Reagan.
Tear down this wall.
George W. Bush.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you.
And Donald Trump.
And a friend of mine for a long time, he only likes politics. If you ask him about how are the Yankees doing, he has no interest. If you ask him almost anything, he likes politics, and he's a professional at the highest level. Roger Stone.
All of these presidents relied on one man to secure their seat in the Oval Office. That man is Roger Stone. This is the Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.
This is Roger Stone, and you're back on the Roger Stone Show at 77 WABC Radio. WABC, where we're making AM radio great again. Don't touch that 77 AM dial, or if you're out of town, be sure to tune in to us at WABCradio.com, where we are literally streaming worldwide. There's no place in the world you can't hear both the Roger Stone Show and all of the great programming we have for you here at the legendary 77 WABC. Joining us now is Grant Cardone. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Cardone Enterprises, Cardone Capital. He's a well-known international speaker, entrepreneur, and author of the 10X Rule, or 10 Times Rule, a creator of 21 best-selling business programs. Grant Cardone owns and operates 7 privately held companies with a portfolio of just over $4 billion in multifamily properties. Named as the number one marketer by Forbes magazine, Grant Cardone is a founder of the 10X movement and the 10X Growth Conference. I am honored to welcome him to the Roger Stone Show here today.
Roger, good to be with you. A big fan of you and what you do and inspiring America to be as great as it can be.
You know, you very graciously had me to your, let's call it your compound, your offices in South Florida. Was an exhilarating experience. You've got a lot of different businesses going on there, but the one thing I noticed was that every young man who worked for you was wearing a jacket and tie, and every woman that worked for you was wearing a nice dress. And you, I think, subscribe to that Stone's rule that if you look good, you feel good, and when you dress professionally, you're more likely to act professionally. This was one of the most impressive, refreshing things that I've ever seen. There is no Friday casual at Cardone Capital or Cardone Enterprises.
Yeah, it's my company. I have a certain thing that I'm trying to achieve here, and it's not a public company. It's a private company, and I'm going to get what I want from the people I want. I moved to Miami 13 years ago from Los Angeles, California, because it was very, very difficult not only to do what I wanted there because of government involvement and overreach into all, everything that we were doing, and also the taxation there. So we moved here. We were looking for an environment, Roger, where I could grow my business, reinvest in my business, and give young professionals an opportunity to succeed. And part of that is when you show up, how you dress, how you act, how you talk, persistence, resilience. Unfortunately, these things are not being encouraged in our society today. at the political levels, at the media levels, and also at the corporate levels, which I think that, we can make a bigger difference. Business owners can make a biggest difference than politics or media.
Well, you have a number of, I think, very controversial but very wise and well thought out positions I want to explore with you today. First, just talk to us about money and the middle class in America today.
Well, the middle class is, except back in the 1950s when you and I were growing up, it was an achievement. It was a place to get to that was legitimate. It was real. Hey, get a house, get your cars, get a great job. That's when there was factories in this country, and we had job explosion and manufacturing, and we were creating something in this country. We weren't a consumer. We weren't just a consumer country. Today, the middle class is a complete mythology. Earned income, college, saving money, IRAs, 401ks. These things are traps. Even the concept of the middle class. If you look it up, the definition of the middle class, you'll see an earner that goes somewhere between $35,000 a year, Roger, to $125,000 a year. And I don't think you can pick a city in America today where the household that earns $35,000 would be considered in the middle. They would all be considered in poverty. But the government doesn't share that data. They say, "Oh no, you're in the middle class. You're good. Your kids get to go to school, a public school that's probably degraded, that's not achieving what it was in the 1960s." You're taking on debt that you don't have. The average car payment today is $770. The average house payment is going to be over $4,000. The average home's $400,000 on a salary of $60,000. It doesn't work. So the middle class is not what it used to be. And so I'm challenging people to say, wait a minute. This is not an achievement. This is not a class you want to be in. This is a stigma, not a status, called the middle class.
You are an internationally renowned business and sales expert, named as the #1 sales trainer in the world, #1 of the 25 marketing influencers to watch in 2017 by Forbes magazine, the author of 8 books and sales and business books, including the New York Times bestseller, I love this title, If You're Not First, You're Last, and the Axiom Award winner, Sell or Be Sold. If Grant Cardone has capital today, where does he put it?
I don't give it. Yeah, I invest heavily in myself to improve my own skill set. I've been doing that since I was 25 years old. The second thing I invest in is my business, my marketing, my people. This is the company. There's no better business, Roger, as you know, than your business. And unfortunately, people do not invest in themselves in their business today. What they're investing is Fidelity or Bank of America or Wells Fargo or J.P. Morgan, like these institutions that the middle class has been trained and educated. Trust these people. And that is not working out for the middle class when you look at it. These are just age-old beliefs that we've adopted. So what I invest in today is me, #1. #2, my business. And the third thing I invest in is rental properties. I own 12,000 apartments in America that are in, great cities, mostly red cities, where we take care of our tenants, take care of our investors. I get cash flow from those investments. I get the counter of deflation or the depreciation of the U.S. dollar because we printed so much of that. So I invest in real assets. I do not invest in Wall Street. I do not have IRAs, 401ks. I do not leave cash in a bank. I believe that there'll be 300 to 600 bank failures here in the next 18 months in America. Intentionally, they will fail 300 to 600 banks, and I believe the stock market will roll over and negatively further impact people's IRAs and 401ks because those are not real assets.
Do you think that we are, in fact, moving to some form of highly government-controlled digital currency, that paper money as we know it will soon be a thing of the past?
Yeah, well, I think we're already there. You know, most people don't deal in paper anymore. If you go to if you go to one of your suit stores where I know you spend a lot of money on your clothes, and you go there and you try to drop off $15,000 in cash for 3 suits, they're not going to take your cash. They won't even take it. So we're already a digital society. You know, if you go drop off money at the bank, you're not going to get money back instantly. It's going to be digits recorded. So it's funny that people that save money, when you and I were growing up, our parents, I'm sure your parents told you, save for a rainy day. You need 3 months of emergency accounts. Put your money in the bank. It's safe over there. But that is not true today. Okay, money is not safe at a bank. In fact, a bank is the most risky business anyone can possibly have. A lender is a risky business. And the fact that people associate banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, any of these big names, they associate it with safety. And the truth is your money is depreciating in value. I'm 65 years old. The U.S. dollar, the $1 is worth 10 cents today. So if I had $1 million in 1958, that $1 million is worth $100,000 today. Even though $1 million will still show up in my balance, it is a lie. Okay, that there's $1 million there. I haven't calculated for the fact that it only buys $100,000 worth of goods and services today. So when people think they're saving money, listen to it. I'm saving my money, but the truth is I'm losing the value of my money by saving it with the banks. And in fact, the bank, if you drop off $100,000 at Bank of America, they don't even keep the money. They get rid of it as fast as you deposit it, and they lend it out. So, and they're going to lend it out as many as 10 times. So this print that we did, both Trump and Biden that printed money here in the last, and Trump printed because of COVID and because the country shut down, and then Biden for whatever reasons he has this. I think $12 trillion has been printed, Roger. That $12 trillion, people need to understand, is going to be lent out 10 times that. So you're talking about $120 trillion has been mass created digitally. And that's just the United States. China printed, South America printed, you name it, Canada printed, every country printed. So the idea that people would save their money or put it in convert pieces of paper, currency with Ben Franklin's on it, and then convert it to Fidelity, which has $7 trillion of investment dollars. BlackRock, $11 trillion. Blackstone, $1 trillion. These are massive, massive corporations that have accumulated most of the wealth on planet Earth is in the handfuls of a few people. So I think we're already centralized.
Well, I appreciate your hat tip to my sartorial style, but in all honesty, I must confess I haven't bought a new suit or sports jacket in 30 years. Here's the dirty little trick. When you have a garment custom made, as I was able to afford to do 30 years ago, they leave a lot of fabric in the seams. So as you get older and fatter or older and thinner, the garment can be easily and inexpensively tailored. So the real answer is buy quality at the beginning, take a good care of it. Eschew dry cleaning, by the way, because dry cleaning dries fabrics out, particularly when they've been dyed dark, so a dark blue suit. That's why a dark blue suit after dry cleaning begins to shine, because it's dried out by the harsh dry cleaning fluids. You use a whisk broom and a little cool water. You clean it very vigorously. You let it dry in the air, but not in direct sunlight. And your quality garments will actually, if you take care of them, last you a lifetime. Unfortunately, these days I have to spend most of my money on legal fees, having gotten, as I said earlier in the show, a subpoena from Hunter Biden's laptop, who wants to know all about things I know nothing whatsoever about other than that which I have actually read in the New York Post. One of the other interesting things I like about you, Grant, is you are a disruptor. You're not just a mogul. You're not just a successful entrepreneur. But you're never afraid to tell it like it is. You say a lot of things that others may think but don't have the courage to say. One of the things you said was going to college today is a scam. Tell us what you mean.
Well, I spent 5 years in college, Roger, and number one, to take complete responsibility for my part, I didn't want to go. My mom wanted me to go, okay, because we're Italian. My parents were Italian descendants. They did not go to college. My dad was the first person in his family to actually go to college. So back in that time, back in the 60s, 70s, it was like, oh, you got to go to college. College is the thing. College is going to make great people. Well, college has had 60 years now, 50 years to produce great talent. And the truth is, it is no longer producing great talent. It is very, very expensive. College is the single most inflated commodity in America today, more than cars, homes, stocks, food, energy. It is by far the most inflated, okay, because the government got involved, said everybody, Roger, should go to college. We should give everybody that doesn't want to go to college a chance to go to college. We're going to give people free loans. We'll collect the money later. And what happened was the colleges started raising prices. Tuitions, books, cost of books, room and board just exploded in America. And while it exploded and more people went to college, we all know about the guy that went to Harvard and he's a barista at Starbucks. So what I'm telling people is if you do the math on college, as I have done, let's say a college costs $30,000. It takes 4 years to go there. That's $120,000 that was spent to send that individual to college. Plus, they did not earn income while they went to college. They could have easily gotten a job that earned $40,000. That's another $120,000. So that individual needs to earn $250,000 to break even. This is the statistics on college. 60% of the people that go to college are still not out at the 4-year mark. 46% are still not out at the 6-year mark. Okay, and yet the headlines are going to say, go to college. No, they don't even call it college, Roger. They call it higher education. It's higher education. And I can tell you with over 700 employees in my company, we hire a lot of kids. We're not getting higher education. At best, we're getting poor communicators, people that are coming to work with no confidence, no work ethic, can't clean their car, can't pay their bills, okay, don't know how to actually control a conversation, can't persist on a given path. And this is a problem with both, the parenting. It's a problem with the lower education or primary education, the first 12 years. And it's certainly a problem with college. So I got a kid that works for me right now, 24 years old, young black man, came to work for me. He's been here 2 years and 2 months. He'll make $550,000 this year working for me. And he told me 2 days ago, he says, Mr. Cardone, I could have come here 4 years ago and I would be $2 million ahead and I wouldn't have any college debt because of what I've learned working with you.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
This episode is brought to you by GMC. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the GMC Certified Service Fresh Start Tire Event. Visit gmc.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only. Highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Yeah, your mentorship of young entrepreneurs, young businessmen and women is one of the most laudable things about you, one of the most impressive things about you. Folks, if you're just tuning in, this is the Roger Stone Show. We're talking to real estate investor, disruptor, mogul, founder of Cardone Capital, Grant Cardone. He is a regular commentator and guest appearing on Fox News, Fox Business, CNBC, MSNBC. He has written for Forbes, Success Magazine, The Business Insider, The Huffington Post, Entrepreneur.com. When Grant Cardone speaks, people in the business world listen. We're honored to have him today. Grant, let me go back to your list. You touched on this, but what do you think of the claim by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That companies like BlackRock and Vanguard are purposely, systematically buying up all of the single-family housing stock in the country for some nefarious purpose?
Well, I don't know if it's nefarious or not. They're doing what they do. What do business people do? You know, business people want to get bigger. And those companies that BlackRock's an $11 trillion company. Vanguard's, I don't know, probably $10 trillion. They're not done growing. They want to grow more. They want to get to $20 trillion. So what do? You buy assets. I don't blame them for that. You know, if me, you, and Trump sit down and play poker, I like both of you guys, but my job is to beat you. It's not, while I like you, I want to take all your money from you. So that's the same thing in business. These guys want to get bigger, so they have to buy assets. What's a good asset to buy? A good asset is real assets that cash flow, where I can put a renter in. You're going to live there for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years. And owning the asset is better than lending you money on the asset. So Bank of America wants to give you a loan, and BlackRock wants to own the house and have you pay rent for it and own it forever. And then they can go actually convert that into a piece of paper. So I don't think it's nefarious. I think it's just control, and control equals income. And they want to get bigger. I don't think that that's a greedy thing. They're beyond greed. We're talking about an $11 trillion company. Fidelity, $7 trillion. I mean, the fees on $7 trillion is, I can't even putting $7 trillion in a calculator is a bit of a difficult, because we're so not familiar with that many zeros, right? I think it's going to be 0.005. If they earn 0.5%, they earn $35 billion a year on just their fees. So a group like Fidelity is going to brag, oh, our fees are nothing. Okay, well, it's because you control $7 trillion. So at some point, Roger, they have to buy other assets, right? Many of the companies on Wall Street, and BlackRock and Vanguard know this, they're zombie companies. They'll never make money. They don't have earnings. They may never have earnings. A bunch of these AI stocks, most of these AI stocks will fail. They're just hoping, because they're using other people's money, that a handful win, and the winnings will be so big that they'll get their fees regardless of whether the investors win or not. That's why I started Cardone Capital. I basically created Cardone Capital to democratize these real assets that the BlackRocks and Blackstones and the Vanguards are accumulating. I do not go use wealthy people's monies. I do not get money from institutions, and I democratize it amongst people, regular, everyday people, and we buy institutional assets that we will later sell to these giants that depend on these asset classes, and this is how they grow their company. So at some point, I'm going to have a whole bunch of regular people like me and you benefit from the insatiable appetite of these giant corporations.
I do not sell gold. I'm not a gold merchant. Many of my friends in the conservative and alternative media do sell gold, silver, and precious metals. What do you think of those who put some portion of their portfolio into precious metals?
Well, I never have. I've never understood gold or silver. Like, I've never had anybody give me any gold to buy something. I've never had anybody offer it to me. My brother collected a bunch of gold. When he went to sell it, it was so complicated. First of all, you had to they got to do some kind of authenticity study. They could only take so much at one time. It comes out of the ground. Somebody had to dig it up. Then I got to put it back in the ground. It doesn't pay me cash flow. I like cash flow. People need cash flow is what they need. And when you retire, you and I at some point will retire. When you retire, you don't need a big amount of money. What you need is cash flow every month to take care of you in your golden years. And so that's why I like real estate. I like real estate better than gold or silver because real estate cash flows and gold does not.
The obvious corollary I have to ask, what is and you're a very shrewd observer and you've been pretty clear about your love of the basics. What is your opinion of the future of cryptocurrency?
I certainly like the blockchain and Bitcoin better than I do gold. I think it will be, and I don't know anything about it. Like, I have a little bit of this stuff, most of which I've been given for services. Somebody offered me Bitcoin for a speaking gig. They didn't have cash. My COO said no. My CEO said no. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take goats if you got them, because something's better than nothing. I took the Bitcoin at $500. It's worth, I don't know, $30,000, $26,000 today. It was the highest speaking fee that I've ever gotten because of it, just because I said yes to some exchange rather than no. But to me, the blockchain makes sense. It makes sense that this contract would sit somewhere on the internet and be coded, and we would have a record of it that the government can't intervene on. And that in the future we will not trade in U.S. dollars. We don't trade in U.S. dollars now. When the only time I give somebody a $100 bill is when they park my car, or when I'm tipping somebody. But most of the time I'm given a credit card, right, or a promise. Sometimes I'm just like, call the office and get the money. So, or it's a contract that's paid every month. But I think that crypto and blockchain are the future of how people will exchange goods and services. I don't think we're there yet, but I think that that's much more likely than people trading gold coins.
All right. Very sadly, we are out of town. Grant Cardone, tell people where they can learn more about your various activities, specifically your website, where you are the creator of Cardone University, the premier online sales training tool in the world with over 500,000 users and counting. How can people find and interact and benefit from the wisdom of Grant Cardone?
Yeah, look, if you search Grant Cardone anywhere on the internet, I'll be easier to find. For any of the vets out there, or policemen, or first responders, we give our Cardone University program for free to those that group. I think it's cardoneuniversity.com/vets. If you don't find it there, reach out to my office, and we're happy to set people up. But if they just search my name, Grant Cardone, Roger, they'll be able to find out anything and everything about me.
I just realized that between our other guests, actor Robert Davi, political commentator Mike Crispy, and great businessman Grant Cardone, we have an all-Italian-American show today. I love that. Grant Cardone, thank you so much for joining us here on the Roger Stone Show. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Roger.